tighten those belts. It's the Craftsman Truck Series regular season finale from Richmond Raceway.
Good evening from Richmond Raceway. It's time for NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action on a short track Friday night. This is the eero 250 live on FS1. What a gorgeous night it is, and it is the final race of the regular season. 8 drivers are locked in, 2 spots remain. How about that guy? Jake Garcia, 11 points to the good, just above his teammate, Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes, a 2-time champion, hoping his experience will be put on display tonight. He can race his way in. And the rookie, Gio Ruggiero, he comes in. High hopes for tonight, had an issue in practice, did not qualify. He will start in the back. And we're so happy to have you joining us tonight. We're so excited for things to come. I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. I'm Jamie Little, Michael Waltrip, and Regan Smith. So I just set the stage. Basically, the 3 guys we're looking at on the bubble. Regan, what do they need to do tonight to get the job done?
Jamie, this is what it's all about. These guys have worked all season long to get to this point, to make the playoffs. That's the most important thing for them. What do they have to do tonight? They've got to watch their competitors, see what each competitor has done, and make sure if they gain points that they do the same thing in those stages, Michael, to gain the points and to do better than what they're doing throughout the start of the race. It's going to get intense at the end, especially maybe a little bumper at the end if you need to move somebody out of the way, possibly.
Well, we're going to go racing hard tonight. It's going to be all over the place. Action is going to be intense. But if you look at Tanner Gray, he's been fast enough all year to win. Hadn't got it done. He needs to get that W. He doesn't care about stage points. It's everything about getting in a position late in the race. And what I saw out of the Grizzly veteran, Matt Crafton, he was fast in practice. He knows how to get it done here at Richmond. I think you got to keep an eye on Matt. He might surprise everybody tonight.
So race and you're in mentality. I love it. Can that man right there get it done? What a story that would be. Well, let's kick things off now and go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Marine Detachment Fort Lee Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome 93rd Signal Brigade Chaplain Scott Britton.
Let us pray. Our prayers are with the family of Mike Warrington of the Sunoco Fuels crew, who passed away last week after 37 years of service. Lord, we thank you for this day and for the privilege of living on the best country on earth. How blessed we are to gather here in the spirit of competition. Lord, I ask for your hand to be on each of these competitors. Give them clear vision, swift movement, and steady resolve. Protect each of them, Lord, as they give the best of their gifts to us tonight. And finally, I pray that we appreciate not only this race, but the fellowship that comes with it. May it all increase your reputation. It's in Christ's name that I pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Miss Virginia 2025, Madison Whitbeck.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well done, Miss Virginia. Virginia. Well, they say Richmond is for racing lovers, and no doubt you'll love the action ahead. We'll hear from some of the drivers. That's coming up next. Know the top 10 drivers who will be competing for the 7-race playoff. Let's take a look at our bubble picture. Now, Stuart Friesen was injured. He is out and recovering. He will not make it back in time, so his name has been removed from the playoff battle. As you see now, this is how it stands. Caden Honeycutt, all but locked in, basically needs to finish 34th tonight. You see Jake Garcia right there, Ben Rhodes just below him. Let's hear from a couple of those drivers around the bubble. First up, here's Josh with Jake Garcia.
Well, Jake, just 11 points separate you and your teammate Ben Rhodes from that final playoff spot. What's it going to take for you to make sure you are in the postseason by the end of the night?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just having a solid run with no mistakes. I feel like that's where, you have bad points days. So if you wreck or speed on pit road or something like that. So just try to minimize those and, do the absolute best we can to have a smooth race and top 10 in all 3 stages, I think is the goal. So, I think we can do all those things. We'll have a good night and move on to the round of 10. So I want to thank all my guys. They've done a good job getting me to this point. I think we've got a fast Quanta Services F-150 here today, and I'm looking forward to it.
Jake Garcia rolls off 8th as he tries to book his way through to the playoffs. Todd?
Yeah, here with Ben Rhodes. Ben, 11 points below the cut line. You've been in this situation before, and as a 2-time champion, what do you got to do tonight to get yourself back above that cut line?
Yeah, not ideal being 11 points down, but the biggest thing is staying calm, cool, collected. Every time we were able to make our way in to win a championship, it was due to staying calm when the adversity would come and making the most of the opportunities when they're there. So tonight, with the extra tires that we have for these stages, I need the opportunity to be made by cautions falling at the right time. Flip the stages, get the stage points. 17th place starting spot's not quite doing it just yet, so hopefully we have good long run speed, get our F-150 to the front.
Ben Rhodes going to use that experience to get him some points tonight. Jamie?
Absolutely, Todd. And the third driver we talked about, Gio Ruggiero, had those issues. He will be starting in the back, so that'll be fun watching him move forward. What do you think, Regan, Michael, those three chances, those three gentlemen?
Well, I think when you look at how practice went, Jake Garcia not quite as good as Ben Rhodes, but then Jake stepped up in qualifying. It's going to be all mixed up and interesting.
It's going to be a fun night.
Yes, it is. Let's now go trackside once again. Here's the command to fire engines.
Richmond Raceway, give a big NASCAR welcome to Dylan Barber. By day, he is a reality star and entrepreneur, but tonight, he is here to say those most famous words in motorsports. Take it away, Dylan.
Richmond, are we ready? Well, let's get to it then. Drivers, start your engines!
Sounds you love to hear. 250 laps coming up from Richmond. We'll drop the green flag. That's coming up next.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is back at America's premier short track, Richmond Raceway. The first Truck Series race was run at this 3/4-mile track back in 1995. After a 15-year hiatus, the Truck Series returned to Richmond in 2020 and has consistently remained on the schedule since. Richmond Raceway's layout combines short track intensity with technical demands. Drivers will face different braking zones into turns 1 and 3, a narrow pit road entry, and high tire wear that makes strategy and throttle control critical. With multiple racing grooves now in play, late race moves and fresh tires can have a huge impact. Richmond Raceway always comes at an important time of the year, as drivers such as Jake Garcia and Ben Rhodes are fighting for the last spots in the playoffs. In last year's regular season finale, Ty Majeski grabbed the lead on a late restart with 8 laps to go and locked himself into the playoffs with a clutch victory. Who will come out on top today? Will Ty Majeski go back-to-back? Or could Christian Eckes, a full-time Xfinity driver who's in today's field, find his way to victory lane? Get ready, it's time to find out.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's just an absolutely beautiful night once again. High temperatures, high humidity. is going to get hot and slick, and we're here for it. Let's now take a look at our eero 250 starting grid. Starting on pole, this will be the 8th time this year he has led the field to green. Corey Heim's 4th straight pole, and starting alongside Ty Majeski, guys. Rumor has it he is the truck to beat tonight.
Right behind them in row number 2 is going to be Lane Riggs starting on the inside. Next to Lane, Grant Enfinger, a former winner here at Richmond a few years back. Maybe Grant can get one tonight.
How about row 3, Regan? Regan Smith, we got Sammy Smith and Chandler Smith. It's just all about the Smiths on row 3. Chandler Smith really good here. Sammy had a great practice today. So many great stories throughout the top 10 and all throughout the field. You talked about Giorgio starting last. He could win this race. That's how wide open things are.
Well, Matt Crafton, great effort, practice and qualifying, starting on row 4.
And definitely Matt's kind of track right here, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. And Caden Honeycutt got a new ride as well.
There you see Bailey Kerr. I'm excited for this opportunity for him. Super Loop Finhouse there, starting inside the top 20.
Ben Rhodes starting in row 9. All the pressure on Ben. 11 points. He's tried to do it before. Can he pull it off tonight?
Got a doctor in the house, Staropoli, a retina specialist.
And then a podcast expert right behind him. There you see Matt Gould. We call him LP for little Phil, driving for Nice Motorsports. Ryan Roulette. And there's Gio.
So I mentioned Caden Honeycutt. He is filling in for the injured Stuart Friesen. He will be his driver moving forward. So what do you say, guys? Let's dial him up.
See what he's doing.
Yeah.
Hello, Caden Honeycutt. It's Waltrip and the Fox team. Do you got us?
Here, Mikey. I got you loud and clear.
Well, that truck looked really, really good in practice. Can you go out and win one for Stewie tonight?
And I want to win for Sue. I want to win one for Sue, Miss Friesen, Chris Larson, Halmar, Mohawk Northeast. This entire HFR team, man, they deserve it. I can't thank them for the opportunity to finish the season out with them. And there's nothing better I can do than go out and win races for them the rest of this year and go to the playoffs, hopefully after tonight, and go after a title at the end of the year in Phoenix. So it all starts tonight. We're going to use tonight as a learning goal, learning race for us as a team. Them know me, I know them, and we'll just have a good, solid night here tonight and go on to Darlington, hopefully the playoffs. So big picture tonight. We'll see what we can do.
Caden, you mentioned learning the team, learning the people tonight. How critical will this race be for you as you look forward to the playoffs to make sure that you go into the playoffs and have a good start with this 52 team?
It definitely starts off on the right foot, so I think we'll have we've been having amazing access to tools that I've been very blessed with and being part of people that have given me the chance to do this. So I appreciate that. Appreciate everyone that's been working hard to give us fast trucks. I think we'll have a good night for the rest of the night, and like I said, use this as a learning tool as our team. Just keep building on it every week. Stay in communication with me and Jimmy and the team. They can get it done, and I believe in them. So, and they believe in me. That's all that matters. We'll have a good night.
Have fun out there tonight. Good luck. Thanks, Caden.
Well said by him. Well, another guy that I know I'm keeping my eye on is Chandler Smith. He's got a win here the last 3 straight years. Last time he was in the Truck Series, 2022, Victory Lane. Then he moves up to the Xfinity Series, gets the win here in 23. And he backs it up a year later with another big trophy from Richmond. So how's he feeling about his chances tonight, Todd?
Well, Jamie, I asked him, Chandler, 4 in a row, is it doable? He said, I don't know, with this truck, it's not very good. He was not a happy camper with his truck. It was loose, it was tight, no side grip, but he said they made some adjustments qualifying. He thought it was going to be better, but the thing I got out of that whole conversation when it was all done, he said, yeah, we're going to win 4 in a row tonight. Josh?
Well, Todd, your regular season champion, Corey Heim, 6 wins on the year, none on short tracks. And when I caught up with Corey earlier today, he told me there's been a concerted effort to get better on these types of tracks, especially a pace like Richmond, where he called arguably his worst short track. Well, they did their homework. They went to work. They made some changes with their setup to see if that would help. Corey dug deep to find out what he's been missing here. It paid off much better in practice. Got his first Richmond pole. So what's next? His first Richmond win? We'll find out in just a little bit, Jamie.
Thanks, Josh and Todd. Have a good night down there, guys. All right, Michael, how about the Craftsman track description?
3/4 of a mile, and you can see that long sweeping front straightaway. All those numbers are great, but what I want to say is no grip. These guys are going to be slipping and sliding all night.
And as we take a look at the race analysis, 70 laps, 110. Keep an eye on that. And the Ram race strategy, you've got 4 sets of tires to use during the race tonight. That is going to be critical. When do you use those tires, and how do you use them?
Pace car is off. Here we go. Corey Heim on the outside. Ty Majeski on the inside. Taking a peek as they head into turn 1. Corey Heim out front.
Matt Crafton took them 3 wide down into turn 1 as
Hemrick washes
Daniel
out.
has that thing get away from him there. When I said slipping and sliding, Regan, I thought they'd be good for a lap or 2.
Lap 1, it didn't take long. 4 wide as we see into turn 3 right there. These guys are getting after it quick. A wide racetrack. You can get away with that here at Richmond.
Daniel's got some sort of issue. He's not going at all.
Daniel Hemrick in that 19 started 10th. And he continues to go backwards.
It's like there's an air pressure issue or so. You saw
you can see some sparks.
You wonder if he has an issue with a tire. He's not feeling it. You can tell that.
So meanwhile, up front, Corey Heim with a great start. Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Lane Riggs, and Matt Crafton, your top 5.
Yeah, I talked about Crafton. It hasn't been a great season for Matt, but man, in practice today, he was really fast. I talked to him after qualifying, and he said, I just barely slipped off turn 4. I think we had the pole, but we're going to go down swinging tonight, is what Matt said, and I think he's got just the truck to go out and be competitive with.
Well, this is Matt Crafton's style of racetrack. You got to be easy with the throttle, control the throttle, take care of the tires, and as a veteran driver, that's where he excels. That's the kind of racing that he loves, and you give him just enough of a truck to get up there, you know that he'll be aggressive, as we see 2 wide right behind him.
And Regan, as a driver, I hear all the time the drivers saying you've got to be 90% on the new tires. You got to take care of those tires. How hard is that to do if you got pressure on you just running 90%?
Every time you lose a spot, Michael, as we see this side-by-side battling right here, you don't want to give up the spot, but at the same time, you're trying to think about your tires. And Christian Eckes, I guarantee you, on the outside of Chandler Smith is thinking, I don't want to abuse these tires. It's early in a run. If I abuse them now, it might cost me a 1/10 of a second a lap later, and they're going to think about that all night long, and it drags you into overusing them.
Christian Eckes, welcome back to the Truck Series in the 16 truck. Moved up after last year. He won the regular series championship. He gave us something to talk about week in and week out, but he has moved up and moved on. So nice to see him back. He'll join us again later in this season, but right now trying to hold off a hard-charging Sammy Smith, who's coming off the top 10 last week.
Yeah, nice run off turn 4 there by Sammy. That's how you get the pass made. And you can tell if they're abusing their tires a lot, Regan, because the truck will get sideways. It's very easy for the truck to step out on corner exit. If you keep that thing up under you, you're taking care of those tires.
And I like what Christian Eckes did right there. Sammy got position on him. He let him go. Let me get to the bottom. Let me try and figure out why I'm sliding back just a little bit right now in this 16 truck and figure out if it's going to come to me or not. And as we move a little further back here to some good battling going on further back in the pack, Gio Ruggiero we see trying to work his way up through the pack all the way up to the 23rd, now 22nd position as he makes that pass.
That's a big move early for Gio. He's been strong all season long. He's got a good truck here tonight. See if he can just get up toward that top 10 before this first stage ends.
Nice battle with his teammate Brent Cruz as they're trying to get around Spencer Boyd. Remember, Gio Ruggiero, he's trying to make moves tonight, already up 13 spots, just outside that playoff bubble.
And as they go through 1 and 2 here, Jamie, you see those patches, those dark spots on the asphalt. That's new this week. And the drivers have kind of talked back and forth to me. Some say there's a little extra grip there, and some say it's pretty slippery.
And I think we're going to see that play out all night long, Michael, as they learn and understand what that patchwork is going to do. And it's kind of like a binding agent from what we've been told on the racetrack to just try and help that area of the racetrack. But it's right where your right side tires are. That's where the grip can come from.
You know, another thing, we practiced, it was hot and sunny, and now we're racing into the night, so there's a lot of unknowns here. As Carson Quapple goes to the bottom there on Dawson Sutton.
And Carson having a good start to the race as well. He's up 4 positions right now from where he started, and there we see Daniel Hemrick finally, whatever the problem was. Todd, what do they got going on the 19?
Well, Regan, right here, it looks like a flat tire, but it started off, it was on the splitter, and they knew that they were going to have to come in. They thought it was going to come in with air pressures and lift up, but it didn't. They knew they were going to have to come in, but obviously, right front tire was going down the whole time. That's why it was on the splitter.
That's what it looked like, Todd. He just didn't have any turn at all in that truck, and you can see the right front's gone, and look at the sparks under that thing. The kid couldn't get down to get onto pit road off of turn 4, so he's struggling to get back.
We're staying green. Meanwhile, the 98 reeling in the 11 of Corey Heim. Hemrick trying to make his way back down, see if he can make it to pit road, and he does this time as the leaders just go by.
That's a tough break there for the Napa truck. End his chances of winning right off the bat before he even got started hardly.
That's a bummer. We saw how strong that team was earlier this season at Martinsville. Another short track, got the win. First time we saw the backflip in years, so it was great for him, but not to be so far tonight with that early issue.
I'm going to say that we're going to hear a lot of this 34 truck tonight. We know how good he is on the short track. Lane Riggs, he's heating up Grant Enfinger there off turn 4. That truck looks really strong up off the corner. Really handling nicely. No big slides I've seen out of the 34. Watch for him to go up there and contend with Majeski and Heim to lead this race.
And just a textbook pass right there, Michael. Got a little bit lower coming off of turn 4. Maybe just a little bit of bumper contact between him and Grant, but definitely expect him to be good as the night plays out. And the battle for the lead, guys, it is heating up right here. And I'd love nothing more to see than to see these two, Corey Heim and Ty Majeski, duke it out all night long.
Daniel Hemrick on the right side is taking it back to the garage, Michael. But yes, this is heating up. Look how close this is. I know Corey Heim has talked about our truck is a lot better this time, but this place is not good for us. Meanwhile, Ty Majeski is about the only driver I think we heard from that had a big smile on his face earlier, happy with what they had, and it's showing.
And a lot of people through the garage pointing at Ty Majeski, especially on the longer runs, and saying to look out for that truck. There was a lot of confidence that he would potentially be the guy to beat. I know that's tough to say with Corey Heim out in front of him right now with 6 wins on the year, but that was kind of the chatter.
Look where Ty's going now. He's starting to check that higher groove out. We know he's faster than Corey right now, and he's just going to find a way around him. Not going to worry about the bottom of the racetrack. We saw him run high on his first lap in qualifying, so he's comfortable being up top, and he's going to grab this lead. That could be bad news for the competition, Regan. As good as he was in practice, and then heating up Corey and getting the lead here early.
And just a power move to go to the outside and do it this early on tires, Michael. A lot of times we don't necessarily see that with the trucks, that you're able to complete that pass. So a very good handling truck for Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski to the lead on lap 19. He leads over Corey Heim. 52 laps to go in stage 1 from Richmond.
be the race where it really got rolling for him, and maybe a little bit of a disappointing night for what we expect at Ty Majeski in a short track. Tonight so far, though, this is more the Ty Majeski that we come to expect, and you know, he mentioned it earlier. This is the perfect time to start doing that, right? The week before the playoffs, carry that momentum into the playoffs, and no matter how the night works out right now for him, to show this speed that he's got, that's going to be important for that team.
Well, we showed Daniel Hemrick, one of our playoff contenders, issues early. Todd, what are they seeing?
Yeah, Jamie, a bad night went to a worse night for Daniel. Because he had flat tire and had to drive it all the way around the racetrack. It literally drug the sway bar arm off of the truck. I just spoke to crew chief Kevin Bellecourt. He said that there's really no sense of going back on the track. They're in the playoffs. They don't need to go back, but they're going back in this race to use this as a test for their short track program because of the races coming up in the playoffs.
So they'll continue trying to work, but this is where you have to just be thankful that they're in, they won, they're locked in, and they're going to move forward. Think about 2 weeks from now when we kick off the playoffs.
Yeah, and I like the strategy, right? Go out there and use this as a test session, use it to learn. Kevin Bellecourt's only been working with Daniel Hemrick for 2 races now. It's every opportunity you have to get everybody on the same wavelength in terms of communication and what's going on. Not just the driver, but the pit crew, everybody, utilize it.
Wow, Ty Majeski is just driving away from them. Only truck down in the 24-second bracket. The second fastest truck, lap in and lap out, is this 34 of Lane Riggs, the yellow truck. And there you see, working the bottom, getting around some lap traffic, is Corey Heim. But what a pace that 98 is setting out front.
2-second lead over Corey Heim, and Lane Riggs is slowly reeling in Corey Heim for that second spot.
There's that Loves number 34 truck. You can see that 11 just ahead, getting bigger and bigger. Andres Delara there in the 44, losing a lap early. He's running 24th.
Andres Perez, one of the many headlines this week. A lot of news going through the truck series. He was released from Spire. They allowed him to go look elsewhere, and he landed at Nice Motorsports. So the truck looks very similar to the 77 he's been in all year long. And now it'll be the 44 moving forward through the rest of the season.
Mexico City, Mexico, getting used to this new team.
That's a lot to figure out.
Yes.
We just raced last weekend. You just had a few days to get in the shop, learn kind of the lingo and how things go. What is it like for a driver to just change teams like that? Different protocols and things you have to learn to be up to speed.
It's overwhelming, Jamie. And you know, when you think about it from a perspective of a rookie, it's even more overwhelming, right? You're out there, you've just figured out the team that you've got, and now all of a sudden you got to figure out an entirely new group of guys. You got to go to a new shop, understand their systems, how they work with things. As we look right now at a nice battle with Tyler Ankrum and Ben Rhodes, and Ben trying to work his way forward as best as he can right now.
I like how he's using that outside groove. You got to look around. It's so hard to pass. These trucks are so equal. And I think Tyler Ankrum, like what Ben did so much, he decided he'd do it himself. Run up there and take that lane away. That's what I love about this racetrack. You've got options. If you can make a move up top, then you've got the lane to do it up there. As you see, Sammy Smith on the left.
Battle for fourth on the left.
Yeah, getting side by side with Crafton.
Battle for 12th on the right. Ben Rhodes, we talked about, only 11 points out coming into this race, and he told me this morning, my focus is just on stage points. We got to lock ourselves in with stage points, and the rest will figure itself out. And as a two-time champion, you know, he knows these pressure situations.
Well, and as we mentioned, Ben, right, in that battle for 12th, 2 positions ahead of him is going to be his teammate Jake Garcia. And listen, even on stage 1, we're halfway through the first stage right now, exactly 35 to go, but 1 point swing one way or the other could become massive for these guys as he does complete the pass finally on Tyler Ankrum. And you know that Ben in the truck, he's thinking about that. They don't have to tell him that, Michael. He knows exactly. He can see the 13 truck a little ways ahead of him.
And look how good that truck's handling. He got right to the bottom, was able to accelerate hard off turn 2. I think he's got a truck he can go race for the win with. And he knows, like you said, Regan, just up ahead a couple of spots. This is the 13 truck, and that's the guy he knows he's got to beat tonight. But he's probably thinking at this point, as good as that truck looks, I'm going to beat them all. I'm going to win this darn race.
He was going for it in qualifying, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Got into the wall. He went so wide. You never can tell, though. The team went to work, patched her up. She looks perfect.
if that's the only scratch on the truck at the end of the night, it's been a really good night.
Absolutely.
See Tyler Ankrum there in Ben's Tire Tracks. He's a great short track racer. And there's
nice
the battle
side by
for
side.
4th position.
And Sammy Smith has really been moving his way forward here as this run goes on. And I mentioned a moment ago that we were halfway through, and now we're a little past that. We're we're at lap 39 of this stage. And this is when you really see who's going to have a truck that can go in the long run, and who managed their tires early, who's not slipping and sliding at the wrong times, Michael. And Sammy Smith, with all of his experience at Richmond, not only in trucks but as well as Xfinity Series, doing a nice job early to make his way forward as this particular run progresses on.
He is solid, as you said, Regan, making passes and driving away. Look at that gap he's already put on Grant as Matt Crafton slides up high to try to take a look at that 9 truck.
This weekend, it's just us and the Cup Series. It'll race here under the lights tomorrow night, but Xfinity is off. So some of these youngsters, like Sammy Smith, taking the opportunity to stay on top of things and turn some laps during this off weekend as they're getting ready for the end of their regular season as well.
And I love that. Stay fresh. Race everything that you can. So often we see our Craftsman Truck Series drivers, whether it's an Xfinity race that they go run or a late model race, whatever it is, a driver needs to be in a vehicle at all times. And Chandler Smith now, another one of those drivers, starting to make some noise. And he told me earlier, he said, when the tires get old, that's when I'm at my best. I really know how to manage it. Told me that Richmond to him feels a whole lot like Pensacola, Florida, where he's had so much success running the Snowball Derby and other races. And
he's taking a peek. Chandler Smith, this is for 5th.
Gotta wonder if maybe Chandler Smith and Sammy Smith, Lane Riggs, if they went that 90% the first 10 or 15 laps, and now they're really starting to pay off with keeping those tires underneath the truck better. Matt Crafton looks like he could use a bit of an adjustment, but very competitive, running in the 7th position there in that bright yellow truck.
I think they're doing a nice job just behind him, staying smooth and consistent, keeping it in the top 10. Not as much pressure on him tonight. He was all but locked into the championship. But wow, what a story for this young man to change teams mid-season and still make the playoffs. What's going on in the 88 camp? What are you hearing, Josh?
Well, Jamie, you talk about drivers trying to point their way in. For Matt Crafton, he knows it's simple. He needs to win. And like Mikey said off the top of the broadcast, he told me he's going to do whatever it takes to get into the playoffs. Well, he said they unloaded the best they have unloaded in a very long time. He said the thing about this is just get me close. He said we were about 85 to 90% there. He said it is on me now to do the rest. So a veteran driver, a champion, knows where he has to do. Now, right now in that truck, they haven't gained many spots. Started 7th, right now 7th, kind of stuck. So they will need some adjustments when the caution comes. But for now, Crafton is hanging tough, and the team hoping they can pull something off, get a win, and get back into the postseason after missing it last year.
What a story that would be, Josh. Crafton has yet to finish in the top 10 on a short track this season, so certainly looking good so far. And there was contact there.
Caleb Costner was on the outside, and Caden Honeycutt squeezed up there off of turn 4.
24 laps to go here in stage 1. Ty Majeski continues to lead over Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, and Sammy Smith. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live from Richmond Raceway. Ty Majeski continues to lead, and Lane Riggs has reeled in and gotten around Corey Heim for the second spot. Now, we've had 2 different leaders so far tonight. Majeski 36 laps and counting. Corey Heim 17 laps. And guys, we only have 14 trucks on the lead lap. He is running them down at a feverish pace.
Wow, just a great pace for Majeski, and this changes some of the Ram race strategy, if you will, Regan, because if he can get a lot of trucks laps down, that's going to make their decisions a lot easier if there's a late caution and they want to come get some tires to get back to the front of the field. This is getting interesting.
Well, and especially, Michael, if we get a caution, let's say with 10 laps to go on the stage, at one point you thought, okay, who would flip it, who would maybe say that we want to keep the same tires on there. And as we take another look at this Ram race strategy from earlier, they've got 4 sets of tires in the pits right now, and it's all about when do you use those. Do you flip the stage potentially? And especially that last stage, if you've got 2 sets of tires for that last stage, it opens it up to try things a little bit trickier if there's an early caution, definitely if there's a late caution. So plenty for these crew chiefs to think about, and the extra set of tires compared to last year could pay big dividends at some point.
Next truck to go a lap down is running in 13th, Bailey Curry. Wow, what a pace Ty Majeski is setting. You can see there, just some really strong trucks have gone a lap down.
Including that man right there, Corey LaJoie. He is joining us now in the 77 truck for Spire Motorsports for the remainder of the season. This is, of course, the truck we saw Andres Perez in. He was quick earlier, looked pretty good, but running back in 17th right now.
And Corey was good in practice. What was unfortunate for him was he had to go out in qualifying extremely early, and the track just, it always gets better. The longer the qualifying session goes on, it gets better. He ended up qualifying a little further back than what he wants to, and when that happens and you're stuck back in the pack, you use your stuff up a little bit while the leaders are out in clean traffic not using their stuff up, and unfortunately he's paying the price for that right now at the end of this long run.
Corey ran the modified race last night. Ryan Newman was out there. I think they even got into it a little bit, but Corey LaJoie ended up finishing 5th. So nice top 5 run for him here at Richmond.
See Rhodes and Garcia there in 10th and 11th. They've got their eyes certainly on one another as we look out the back of that 13 truck of Jake Garcia. The truck behind him, 99, is catching him. He's run him down a couple of seconds the last 10 laps. Can he get there and take that 1 point away?
And I can assure you Ben Rhodes' tongue is hanging out in that truck right now as he tries to catch Jake Garcia. And he knows that that's essentially a 2-point swing. If he can pass them, not only does he gain 1, but Jake loses 1 as well. And again, as we get to, it's only 11 points separating them right now. It could come down to something that simple as we get to the end of this race.
And Jake's thinking, I need to get Matt Crafton between me. I got to have a little bit of a bumper between us, and he's going to try to get just that. What a great battle for these two that are just 11 points coming into this race, separated from a chance to go playoff racing.
I'm impressed with Jake Garcia, Michael. I know we talked about him quite a bit over the last couple of years, but I feel like he's really found his home here at Thorsport. 20 years old from Georgia, but you know, a couple of times he's come up just a little short. Rockingham, we thought was going to be his night. So close. Started on pole, ended up 2nd. Another good one was Martinsville. Obviously another short track earlier in the season, finished 3rd there. Just had a really nice year, and it shows. Right now, battling his life away to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of just that. He's got a solid truck, and this is going to be interesting, Regan. When we get to the pit, to the end of the stage, what do you make for adjustments? How do these drivers talk to their crew chief about air pressure, wedge? What do they do in order to make sure they get their trucks as good as they can be when we go racing into the night? Things are cooling down now. Things are changing.
And the track's going to take a whole nother step from where it is, you know, right now currently, as we see a good battle for the 6th position right now. Caden Honeycutt to the inside of Grant Enfinger. But the track, Michael, to your point, right, it's going to keep cooling down. So you got to make enough adjustment to stay ahead of that. If it wasn't good at the start, you might have to do a little more than what you want. But if you calculated guess wrong, then it could be a problem in the next stage.
That last time by, our race leader, Ty Majeski, was almost 3 seconds off of his qualifying pace. If you want to know how these tires fall off and what these drivers are challenged with, big time lack of grip as we go forward.
So Caden Honeycutt, it's been a wild week for him. Changes teams and manufacturers suddenly, and he mentioned it, he has all these tools at his disposal now. You know, Trevor Bain, who joins us here on Fox quite often, he's a driver coach. He coached him this week and said, what a raw talent. But this kid hasn't had all of this before, so now he has all this information. He has to dissect it and figure out what to do tonight, and so far, so good. And Stuart Friesen, guys, he's home injured, but he is helping remotely. Look at this.
Take a look at all the screens Stuart has. My head would be spinning with all those screens right there, trying to figure out what you're looking at. The race on one, he's got the team chat on the other. Looks like his phone, his iPad. How many more computers do you have, Stuart?
I want to know what's blurred out, though.
Yeah, and there's his dog, and Parker, his son, is helping with all the engineering. That's a great sight. I'm glad to see Stewie so engaged.
Last week was great. Christopher Bell was behind the wheel, and gosh, I thought it was going to be his day, but just came up short on fuel. But Caden Honeycutt has his hands full right now. Christian Eckes right behind him as he tries to get around Grant Enfinger and pick up that 6th spot.
He just wants to drive in that corner so hard, so bad, but he just can't hold it down low. The truck slips up on him when he does that.
And that's the problem with the old tires. It just makes it even tougher to complete that pass, and to as every lap he slides up in the middle of 3 and 4, and we keep seeing that. He's trying to get the run off of 4 on the bottom right there. As they've been battling, though, that has allowed Christian Eckes to get back into the middle of that battle right there. So these guys want to figure this out, and it looks like right there he's going to do it and try to block Grant off on the top side.
What an exit to turn 4 for that 52 truck. Man, it looked like he was a half a truck behind, and he beat him solidly into the first turn.
Caden Honeycutt picks up 1 spot, moves into 6th. So does the 16 of Eckes.
See his brakes glowing there on the left front of that 52 truck as Ty Majeski marches his way toward a stage win here. Just put Tyler Ankrum a lap down. Ankram's your 12th place running truck. Wow.
What a pace. 1 lap to go. Stage number 1. 4 ThorSport trucks in the top 11, including the leader. Guys, can you believe ThorSport has yet to win this season?
Well, they showed up tonight, and they are definitely ready with all 4 of their trucks.
Absolutely, they did. And there it is. The green and white checker flag is out for Ty Majeski. He picks up his 2nd stage win of 2025. Well, that's basically what the garage was talking about today. Look out for the 98.
And now the crew chiefs and the engineers say, all right, we got 3 sets of tires to go the rest of the way. So we're going to have 3 sets of tires when we change these. So that makes the strategy get a little bit simpler, but still going to get wild.
We'll step aside when we come back. Pit road will be open. Adjustments galore. Stay with us. Sunday. The NFL is back on Fox, and we're kicking it off with reigning MVP Josh Allen and the Bills. They'll take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Preseason football, that's Sunday at 8 Eastern on Fox. Love to hear that music.
Can't wait.
Kicking things off.
That time of year.
That's right.
A little football, some playoff NASCAR, my time of year.
The pits are open, and they're coming your way, Todd.
98 Ty Majeski talked to Joe Shearer's crew chief. It's not much to report. He said, how's their truck? He said, pretty good. That's it. Lane Riggs, not so much the same thing. He's got the worst problem you can have as a driver. He's loose in and tight in the middle. Lots of adjustments for him. Josh?
The 11 of Corey Heim. He said the biggest issue with that truck is the front end just feels numb. He's looking at the 98 and saying the 98 can roll the center better. They can get in deeper. So he needs some help if he wants to be able to track down Ty Majeski the rest of the way, guys.
Yeah, and that was his problem in practice, guys. He talked about the front end was just feeling numb.
We see it looks like a pit stop for Corey Heim and really all three of our top three.
Corey Heim's able to jump up a spot.
What about Ben Rhodes? Plus 10. Is that accurate?
Let's say something's up there.
We'll take a look at that, figure it all out, re-rack them, and stage number 2 will be on the other side of our break. Welcome back to the eero 250. And when we went to break, we noticed on the pylon it showed that Ben Rhodes gained 10 positions. Well, for good reason. He actually missed his pit box. He was in the first box on pit road. So he had to go around, come back down, and pit. So that is basically a penalty to yourself. You'll start at the tail end of the field. Not ideal for the man who's just on the outside coming into this race, trying to race his way in.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for Ben, and what that means is there's going to be all kinds of of trucks that were 1 lap down on the same tires as him, basically, that he's going to have to work his way back around now before he can get back up to the lead lap trucks to try and battle to get some points. The other thing he's got to worry about, Michael, is these restarts get crazy. He's going to be right in the hornet's nest of all of it right now.
Well, and the thing, he was able to drive up from a 17th starting spot in really good fashion. So we know he's got a great truck, but this is a real setback for this team trying to race for their playoff hopes. Choosing them up here, coming to 1 to go. Ben is in that red truck there, goes to the bottom. There's Matt Crafton, Caden Honeycutt, some really good trucks right here that remained on the lead lap.
This is what he was hoping to see tonight. Caden Honeycutt advances to the Truck Series playoffs. Well done by that young man. And he did it driving technically for 3 different teams. Mostly, of course, with Nice Motorsports. Well done by him. Ty Majeski picked up stage 1. He'll restart on the outside of Corey Heim. Sammy Smith, Lane Riggs, lane number 2.
Nice push there by Sammy Smith, and nice start by Corey Heim. Can he clear Ty Majeski down into 1? Looks like he can.
Sammy Smith washed up just a little bit, checked up that second row.
And we saw this at the start of the race. Corey Heim able to get out, get the lead, and what kind of adjustment did crew chief Scott Zipadelli make for the longer run? As we see some great battle and a little further back in the back. Christian Eckes trying to go to the outside of Lane Riggs early on.
Nick Garcia up there in the 6th position. Nice job early for him. Just protecting what he's got. Added a couple more points to his total with that stage finish.
And I love riding along with Jake right here. You can hear early on in the run, getting after that gas pedal aggressively. You've got the grip in the tires, and we'll check back in with him later on because I assure you it will not sound anything like that when we get some laps on these tires.
That beautiful sunset over off turn 3. This track is getting as good as it's going to be right now, Regan.
Cooled off quite a bit since the start of this race. Who made the right adjustments? Who didn't make enough? This battle, once again, we saw this earlier. Lane Riggs trying to pick up that 4th place position.
Good exit there for Lane. He's going to clear the 16 of Eckes.
And as you see Christian Eckes starting to try and gain some of that track position back. Fell back a little bit early in the beginning of stage 1. As he gets that, can maybe get a little bit better read on the truck and some cleaner air and really understand what he needs out of it. He was so good on the long run in practice that I think we expected to see him move forward, and didn't work out early on. We'll see if the adjustments were better for the early part of this stage, but also that if they can keep it going through the end of it.
Jake Garcia in this 13 truck, he's trying to size up Eckes, drive back into the top 5. There's those sealed patches there in 1 and 2. These drivers are working through. Here goes Lane for another spot. Looks like he might have made the right adjustments, guys.
I think they did, and they took a big swing at it. We saw the chassis adjustment, the wrench go in, the deck lid there as Sammy Smith moves back into 4th.
Look at that, off the racetrack, down low. That makes me smile, Regan. You get that left front corner down on that yellow line, nearly off the road. That truck is handling right there. You can see he loves what he's got there.
And there's grip down there too, Michael, and that's why they like doing that so much. If you can get your truck there, it just feels like it helps make that vehicle rotate just a little bit more. And obviously the transition to the bank, and the beauty about Richmond is you can do that in the trucks. It allows you to do that, and it's not too aggressive to where it upsets it too much.
I like what I'm seeing. Good battles all over. Ben Rhodes is trying to make up for his mistake.
So Ben Rhodes in the 99, he is still on the lead lap in 12th, but he has all of these lap down trucks too around him. Hard to make up some positions.
And this is the battle for 22nd and 23rd in front of him, Andres Perez and Brent Cruz, and they don't want to give anything up. They're trying to get every spot they can to try and get up and get in a position for the free pass. They got a little ways to go to do that right now, but it's just going to continue to make Ben Rhodes' job even tougher.
And you know, Regan, he's already 10 seconds, nearly a half a lap behind. So things are going in a bad direction in a hurry here.
Look at Jake Garcia taking a look on Christian Eckes, trying to get into the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Good exit there for turn 2, and look at that. Clears Christian. Oh, caution.
Luke Fenhouse around, caution out for the first time for incident. Carson Quapple in the 76.
They were racing about where Ben Rhodes was at. Regan, you talked about the scramble back in the pack and how crazy it could get. There's the 66. No damage there, it doesn't look like.
And fortunate to go around in the corner, in that spot of the corner, and not have any contact. You know, certainly good for Luke Fenhouse. Great short track racer from Wisconsin, and hate to see that for him, as we'll take a look at what happened here. This is in the middle of turns 1 and 2 right now where we're looking, and there you see, just coming up off the bottom, Spencer Boyd just misses the bottom, clips him, and
big. I know that's tough for Spencer and for Luke, but that's a big break for Ben Rhodes. We saw what kind of mess he was in, and now he's going to be able to get around those lap trucks.
So here's the question for Ben Rhodes now.
Ooh, good question,
Do you
Regan.
take the tires now and be able to restart with those lead lap trucks and get your points potentially if the stage continues to go green? He mentioned early on in the show when we interviewed him, we need early caution so we can do stuff different. This is the opportunity that he wanted here.
That radio communication between the team and Ben Rhodes and the engineers, everybody's just on the gas right now trying to figure out if this is the right time to make this gamble.
I love to see this option. We didn't have this last year. Those guys knew they only had that extra set of tires. This year we have an additional set.
And it'll cost him later on in the race if they choose to do that, but at the same time, he could potentially make up a huge chunk of stage points by taking that opportunity.
Well, right now he's giving up a bunch, and look what he's doing. You called it, Regan. He's coming to get him, and I love this.
Here he comes, the first pit box right there, pulls it to a stop.
Brand new tires. You see the stickers there going on. This is just a gamble they have to take. They're behind. They've got to figure out a way to catch up. And if this thing stays green, he could go up and win this darn stage.
And certainly with his teammate right now, Jake Garcia, running in the 5th position, has been migrating forward already in this run. Great move there.
What can Ben Rhodes do with fresh tires? We'll find out. Corey Heim continues to lead here under caution. just 2 races to go, newly crowned 4-time champion Alex Palou continues his quest for a record 10-win season and the most dominant run in IndyCar Series history. It's at the Milwaukee Mile coming up August 24th, only on Fox. Just 2 races remain, but that man has locked it up. What a run he has had. Now he's just chasing history books. All right, back here at Richmond. Under caution for a spin by Luke's Fenhouse. Corey Heim continues to lead over Ty Majeski, and we had a couple come down pit road.
Yeah, you see Ben Rhodes lined up back there in the 12th spot on the outside. He's going to have a distinct advantage, Regan. You think that's an understatement?
Ben is going to have a lot of fun on this restart right here, and you'll see him go high, you'll see him go low. He will be all over the place.
We got to watch this. This cat is going to be on the gas.
Chandler Smith, Raja Karuth came down pit road as well. Battle up front has been incredible, but we need to keep an eye on the 99. Green flag back in the air. Great restart by Corey Heim once again from the outside.
See that black truck? Ben's just saying, I'm going to go where they ain't. Look at that. 4 wide around the top.
And no better feeling as a driver. You feel like Superman right now, and we still see a nice battle up front also, but Ben Rhodes doesn't care about that. He said, I'll be there in a minute, guys.
And the man he's chasing for that championship spot right ahead of him, the 13 of Jake Garcia. And Garcia says, no, how is this happening? And Ben says, bye.
If I'm his spotter, I'm going to say, don't worry about that. It's going to be okay. He's made his bed. If we get the right caution situation, this could really bite Ben Rhodes, but for now it's looking good.
How much fun is this as a driver?
This is fun, and Ben's going 3 wide in spots that you don't necessarily always do, and he's able to do it with confidence because of those tires. You see him in the inside of Christian Eckes right now. That's a battle right now to put him all the way up in the 5th spot after this restart already.
Well, we talked about the big advantage these tires could play, and you covered in the Ram Race strategy. When do you get them? He decided he was going to get him something right now.
And a big part of what Ben's doing right now is going to be get these spots as quick as you can. Get to your teammate Ty Majeski and get to Corey Heim, who's leading right now. Get around them as fast as you can before you start to catch the tail side of the field, and then just manage it from that point on.
Chill at that point.
At that point, chill.
If you can get the lead, take it easy. Don't spin those tires. He looks like he's made some great moves, but I haven't seen the thing sideways. I don't think he's really overly abused it. Tires are just that much better, and he's taking advantage of that.
Ben Rhodes up to 4th.
There's Super Luke Fenhouse. You said great short track racer from Wisconsin. He won at the big short track 250 lapper at Madison International this past weekend. So he's got the talent to get it done on short tracks. Now he's just trying to get some spots back after that spin.
And you see Chandler Smith back here. This is actually the battle in front of Chandler Smith right now is the battle for 17th. Chandler, though, is actually running in the 12th position. He came to pit road, but he had to come back down to pit road a second time, so he had to do what Ben Rhodes did earlier and had to restart behind all that traffic. And here we see the battle for the lead right now. Ty Majeski, it didn't take long, and he said, here I come again.
Same situation, right? Just great start by Corey Heim, but a better truck on the longer haul for the 98.
Ty Majeski's led more laps tonight than he has all season long.
What? That's crazy. He's always up front.
Laps tonight already for Ty Majeski. They came to play, Michael.
That's right, and it's showing. We just felt a lot of confidence from him after that practice session, didn't we, Regan?
Not only his interview, after practice and qualifying, but he just had a confidence about him that Michael, when a driver has that, it resonates on the racetrack as well, and you can see it in how he's driving out there tonight.
Lane Riggs closing the gap just behind him on Corey Heim, right there in the 34. Let's listen to Heim's radio.
Yeah, man, it's just not even close. All clear. Good work. Got a couple more shots to work on it here.
And I like what that spotter, Tony Hirschman, talking to him, and I like what Tony just told him. Okay, we're going to keep working on it. We've still got 2 more, at least maybe 2 more opportunities to work on this, or should be 2 more, I should say. And keep your driver's head in the game. Yes, he's fast right now, meaning Ty Majeski is fast, but we're not giving up on this thing yet. We're going to keep battling and we're going to figure it out.
But as a driver, Regan, when you see somebody drive around you like Tom
I'm so mad.
Tom Majeski just did, and then you look in the mirror and here comes the big yellow truck, you're like, man, we're not where we need to be tonight. And just behind the big yellow truck is Ben Rhodes.
And Ben's clicking off some good lap time still, but a little bit surprising to me. He's been second quickest the past couple laps on the racetrack. The quickest truck has been Ty Majeski, and keeping in mind that Ty Majeski has roughly 20 laps older tires, that just tells you what Ty's working with tonight compared to Ben Rhodes. It just very, very quick to be on older tires like that and still running the lap times he is.
And we're exactly at the point where Ben Rhodes is thinking, okay, everybody just stay cool, stay calm. We don't need a caution. We got to get this thing to the end of the stage, collect those stage points, and get back on even ground with the other competitors.
.33 laps to go in stage number 2. Caution is out for the 3rd time tonight.
Wow.
Dawson Sutton, I hear, got into the wall.
Hard.
Wow. He got out of that truck quick.
It's like he's trying to catch his breath. That's an interesting.
That's down at the entrance to pit road. You can see the pit sign for the 99 of Ben Rhodes there. That shows you how close to pit road he is there. And
well, what was that? Was that just saying, Regan? Ben Rhodes, no caution? Immediately we get a caution. This is going to mix things up front. Wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the leaders pit.
And I think that's going to be the question, Michael. Do you take the chance to put the tires on right here? This is an interesting part of the stage. 31 laps to go. I think if you pit here, you're likely going to have to pit again at the end of the stage for sure, no matter what you do. But then you leave yourself with one set of tires to get through the remainder of the race if you do that. So a tough call.
So we'll step aside here as the AMR team tends to Dawson Sutton. We'll be back from Richmond. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live from Richmond Raceway, where we're under caution for an incident with Dawson Sutton in the 26 truck. Very odd looking.
Yeah, he just come to a stop as he approached pit road.
Upper right corner here.
See right there. Bounced it just off that inside wall.
And it almost looks like the brakes or something may have locked up as he did that, and not too certain. Looks like he was coming to pit road anyways, and whatever happened caused him to just nose it into the wall a little bit right there, and not too certain what caused that to happen, as it looked like he did have a problem prior to that he knew about.
So pit road is open. We have some takers and some who chose to stay out.
This is what we talked about all day long. When will they choose to take tires? Regan, we were debating this during the break. Who comes, who doesn't?
Todd.
Yeah, Jamie, you know, it is a big debate whether to come and get these tires. Joe Shear and Ty Majeski literally debated it right up until they came into pit road right there. They didn't know what to do at the last minute. They decided, let's put them on.
Man, if I'm Ty Majeski, I might like to have saved those tires, but you know, you're going to second guess whatever these people do, but a lot of it is just a tough call right now.
Caden Honeycutt gets his set of tires. Tyler Ankrum just ahead of him. Christian Eckes on pit road.
Perfect timing for a pit stop, for a caution flag to fall, to just create more chaos, to make so many decisions that are really tough to make right now.
And the guy that doesn't like to see those tires, and you mentioned it before, before we went to break earlier, Michael, that Ben Rhodes didn't want to see that caution. What he also didn't want to see was anybody come in to pit and take tires, because they have a good chance now of being able to get back past him once we restart this race. The curious thing for Ty Majeski now is going to be, we've got roughly, when we get the green flag, let's call it 21, 22 laps to go in the stage. At the stage break, you're going to have to come back down and take tires again. You don't have an option. That leaves you one set now to play out the entire remainder of the final stage at some point, whether you take them halfway through or wherever you take those at. Todd, help me out here, because I'm having trouble making this add up right now.
Well, you know, it's really funny how race car drivers think alike, you know? Michael, you just said, if I was Ty Majeski, I didn't want to put them tires on. Well, guess what? Ty didn't want to put the tires on. He was begging Joe to stay. He was begging Joe to stay out. Joe said, no, let's flip it right here and see what we can do with these tires. But it's funny, Michael, you're pretty smart for a driver.
Well, thanks, Todd. It takes one to know one. I appreciate that. It's going to be interesting, too, I think, Regan, at the end of this stage. He could stay out then, too, and be on older tires for a while. We saw him be able to hold his own against Ben Rhodes. Could stay out then and save those the other two sets in order to make sure he's got plenty to go to the checker. But the interesting thing to me here will be Ben Rhodes versus Jake Garcia. I think Jake is in a really good spot to go up there and put a lot of positions between himself and Ben Rhodes.
So what we have here is the top 7 stayed out, including Lane Riggs, of course, the 99 of Ben Rhodes. We know he came in. And Corey Heim, of course, leading the race, decided to stay out.
Yeah, and something else we got to keep in mind here as well, guys, is there is battles for points position throughout this field, right? And the battles for points positions are to get the playoff bonus points. And you know, I got to imagine some of the guys, a guy like Grant Enfinger, right? He may be thinking about that. He came to pit road and thinking, hey, if I can get some stage points here, I'm not as good as the 98 of Ty Majeski. Maybe I come right now and get these tires and get some additional stage points. And if you gain 1 or 2 points based on where you finish in the regular season standings, that could help you out as the playoffs start also. So something else to keep in mind.
Okay, and you know, we talked about Ben Rhodes. He's going to be 3-4 wide. Well, it's getting ready to be 4 or 5 trucks that are going to be 3 or 4 wide. Now things are going to get really crazy on this restart. The first truck on fresh tires is Ty Majeski. He's going to start behind the first 7 trucks. He's in 8th position. This is when it's going to get crazy.
Do you think Matt Crafton's aware he's going to be 3 wide in the middle really quick here potentially?
I think Matt Crafton is very aware of that.
Ty Majeski led the most laps tonight, won stage 1. First time we're going to see him buried back in some traffic. But he's putting on his Superman cape right now, guys, I think.
Oh, he's going to feel like Superman. What a truck he's got under him. See what Ben Rhodes can do here. The outside of the 2nd row.
Corey Heim right where he wants to be, outside front row, but Lane Riggs has yet to lead tonight. Can he do it here? Green flag back in the air.
Man, that 11 truck's been stout on that jump, hasn't he? Good job of getting it to turn 1.
Look at that, 4 wide. 4 wide behind him in row number 3.
Oh man, squeeze play.
Here comes Ty Majeski on the inside. Majeski up to 5th.
Down to the bottom on Chandler Smith. Look at this pack of trucks.
They are all over the place. Look at Connor Mozak down on the very bottom of the racetrack.
Bailey Curry was squeezed out there. Ben Rhodes with those fresher tires than our leader.
Fresher tires than the 11 at Corey Heim. Ben Rhodes trying to take the lead.
And this is exactly what Ben needs to do right here. Find a way to get the lead because your teammate is coming with fresher tires as well right now, and Ty Majeski. And we see Ben, he's working that little bit higher groove, and Ty Majeski's caught up in some 2 wide traffic right there right now, alongside of Lane Riggs on the right side of your screen, and trying to battle his way through that.
He didn't want to see that 2 wide, did he? Has wasted time, but it didn't take him but a half a lap to get through that mess. Now the next truck ahead of him is Ben Rhodes.
Majeski into 3rd. Ben Rhodes talked about stage racing, maximizing those points. 10 points is what you get for winning a stage. Right now he's in 2nd, but Ty Majeski looks to the inside. See Ben Rhodes. His eyes are set on Corey Heim.
And they're not going to be set on him for long.
19 to go here in stage number 2, around the outside. Ty Majeski back to the lead.
There's Jake Garcia, been putting up some really fast laps. He needs to close in and get around Ben Rhodes, and I think he's got the truck to do it, Regan.
Jake has been good all night long, Michael, and out there on the older tires. He's on the oldest tires of the guys up front right now and doing a very, very nice job. Or excuse me, he actually has got the fresher tires as well right now, but doing a nice job of getting into position where he needs to.
He just needs this battle, side-by-side battle to sort itself out so he can get through this mess. Set his sights on the 99. Ben's liking what he's seeing in his mirror right now. He's got a bit of a buffer between that 13 truck. A 3 wide buffer.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
Precision driving, keeping
Yeah.
it off each other.
I was going to say synchronized driving, JB, but I think I like your description better as Grant Enfinger is sneaking into this battle. 3 wide for a whole lap? How about 4?
Why not? Let's go for it.
I love this. Friday night under the lights. So much energy, a lot on the line, great racing.
Oh, wow.
Trying to sort it out here.
And every lap that these guys battled, it takes the goodie away from their tires. We see him slipping and sliding just a little bit as Christian Eckes is going to get clear here finally of this with his fresher tires. But Chandler Smith has been doing a really nice job on the outside. He is on older tires than these guys right now, and he's done a nice job of holding them off to this point.
There goes Jake.
Into 5th.
2 for 1.
13 truck. Ty Majeski, 1 second lead out front over Corey Heim.
What a battle those trucks are having. Caden Honeycutt, Chandler Smith all over one another.
Good stuff out of all these guys. We see still 3 wide racing, and here's the beauty of Richmond. This track allows you to do that. It allows you to run all over the racetrack. You can run all the way top to bottom. I wouldn't get all the way up to the wall right now. Probably a little dirty up there from dust and debris and things like that, but as they keep cleaning the track off, it opens up options for the drivers. And there's contact there between Tyler Ankrum and looks like the 77 there of Corey LaJoy. So good job to save that by Tyler Ankrum.
Lane Riggs is looking over all this mess. He's on the older tires as well. 12 laps to go, and Corey Heim running 2nd on the oldest tires of the top 20. that's a good sign for him that he's able to save those tires. And it also makes Ty Majeski say, I told you I didn't need those tires. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, and I think something else we got to take into consideration here, that gap has not really been growing. Ty Majeski appears to have slowed his pace down a little bit. So what he's doing right now is everything he can to take care of the tires that are on the truck, manage those tires. He doesn't need to have more of a gap than what he's got right now, especially in the scenario that he's in with Corey Hyman second and one extra set of tires up on him as this race continues to play out.
Corey Heim doing a great job. Only truck in the top 9 who has not changed tires since that stage 1 break.
Jake Garcia up to 3rd, got around Ben Rhodes. He's done his job tonight, hasn't he? Just making sure that he keeps his eye on the 99 and keep him in his mirror.
And what Ben Rhodes wanted to happen in terms of gaining some stage points in both stages is it has actually flipped on him.
Yes.
And every point that Jake gains in these stages is just going to make that final stage easier on him. It's going to take that stress level off. And we wondered how Jake was going to be in this high pressure situation because he hasn't been in some of these high pressure point situations trying to make the playoffs. And to this point, he is proven to be battle tested right now.
Masterful. What a great job of working his way through the traffic when he was on the new tires and maintaining when he is on the old ones.
He was focused. Talked to Todd earlier before the race started, and you could tell he was intense. You know, there was a lot of pressure on the line looking to make the playoffs. A big feat for sure.
Right now, another position right there in front of him, Corey Heim, is he's going to dive to the inside, and Corey knows I'm not going to have anything to match this right now, and just save as much time on the track as I can to not let those other fresh tires catch up to me potentially. But as I say that, Corey drives back to the outside and clears himself. So
maybe it's short term though, Regan. I think you're right. I think that Jake's going to size him up here pretty quickly.
See that in the pylon, the left side of your screen. Number of laps since last pitted for fresh tires.
See that 60 laps by Corey Heim's impressive that he's able to hang in the second there. Maybe the adjustments they made help that truck. We'll see when he gets on the same type of tires. See if he has anything for Ty Majeski.
Jake Garcia just doing a great job tonight.
He would like to have this 1 point because you never know.
And he is definitely working over the 11 of Corey Heim, and like this time he's going to get closer to maybe being able to complete this pass off an excellent turn 2. Not quite yet, but another good corner in 3 and 4, and then he can set sail to go try and chase his teammate down as he does complete it now finally.
Jake Garcia, the highest he has run tonight, moves into second. Corey Heim back to third. Christian Eckes fourth. Grant Enfinger, your top 5.
Playoff racing.
Gio Ruggiero back in 11th. He had an outside chance coming in. 21 points back, but he had to start in the back. His 90s have a lot on his plate.
And that's what I was about to say. When you consider how his day has gone to this point so far, Gio doing a fantastic job of getting positions early on in the race, continuing to work his way forward. Not only that, but that first run of the race, doing what he could to try and maintain the lead lap as long as he could there. So doing a really nice job of what he can.
Man, this truck has been so good, hasn't it? This is interesting, though. We spotted them a set of, some of the top competitors, a set of tires.
And a quick look at the lap times right now, and Ty Majeski had picked it up for a little while. Maybe it eased it back off a little bit. Appears to have picked it up again, but Jake Garcia is definitely rolling off some good laps. The last time by, Jake Garcia, the fastest truck on the track. Ty Majeski, the second quickest. So interesting to see between these two as they try to plan ahead for the end of the race and see where their trucks are. Jake Garcia is a very good truck right now.
Final lap of stage number 2. Ty Majeski won stage 1. Will he make it a sweep here? Pick up stage win number 2. And he does it. Max points. 90 laps led tonight so far. Ty Majeski, Jake Garcia, Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Grant Enfinger, your top 5. Pits will be open on the backside. And we are back at Richmond Raceway. End of stage number 2. Pits are open. Todd's going to be first up and everybody comes. This ought to be interesting. They're going to adjust away as we've seen so often tonight.
Give me 4 fresh ones right now. Could be a long run here.
That's what Corey Heim especially is saying right now. Todd.
Yeah, Jamie, last time in Ben Rhodes, they tightened the truck up a little bit. Didn't help the entry and made it too tight in the middle. They're going to go back on that adjustment. Jake Garcia, he's pretty darn happy right now. He wants just a small track bar adjustment. He thinks he can keep it up at the front the rest of the way. Josh?
Well, for Corey Heim, it's about chasing down that 98. Once again, saying that truck is just too tight, fires up pretty well, and then just gets too tight towards the end of that run. They're going to try and make an adjustment to help him out, see if they can give him anything for that.
I like what we heard out of the 13 truck. Pretty happy with it. Just wanted a little track bar adjustment and feel like they're good to go.
And that's exactly what we saw at the end of the run there, as we see the battle off pit road. Ty Majeski doing exactly what he needed to. Corey Heim picking up a spot. A little bit of trouble for Jake Garcia. Something to keep in mind there. Lost 5 positions on that pit stop, so definitely not what he wants. You want to keep up in that clean air.
Gio Ruggiero back in the picture as well, gains 2 spots on that stop. The third and final stage coming your way next. track action under the lights right here at Richmond as just 2 races remain before the Cup Series playoffs begin. Racing starts at 7:30 Eastern on USA. They had practice and qualifying earlier today, and Ryan Preece will lead the field to green tomorrow night. All right, so right at the end of stage number 2, we listened in to Jake Garcia's radio.
We're plus 32 on Ruggiero and plus 18 on Ben now. So now we need to focus on being smart and just keeping them in our sights all night. Stay out of trouble.
And that's the best thing Jake Garcia can hear on his radio, plus 18. And that's going to continue to change as they run, and maybe he gains a spot, loses a spot. But what he knows now is I've got to stay within 18 positions of Ben Rhodes, and I'm going to find my way into the playoffs unless Ben goes up and gets the lead of the race.
And, you know, he's checked every box. The team has as well. Jake Garcia has done a great job behind the wheel. They've made the right calls. They're in a great position here to go make the playoffs.
So what does Ben Rhodes need to do right now?
Well, I think Ben Rhodes has to consider this now a must-win situation, knowing where the points are, knowing what's taken place as this race has played out for him so far. Michael, I could be wrong, but I look at this as must-win now.
Yes, I agree 100%. He's got a big enough advantage that Ben's in that position, and that's what I'm telling Ben if I'm the crew chief. We got to go put this thing away. He hadn't had the truck, it appears, tonight to be as good as our pace setters in Heim and Majeski, but you know, an adjustment here, adjustment there. Ben Rhodes has got the experience and knowledge to go get the job done. He's going to line up on the 4th row outside for this restart.
Ty Majeski chooses the inside. He's had the option of trying both tonight.
Yeah, and we'll have to look at it on this restart, but Corey Heim has been extremely good. You mentioned it on the last restart, Michael. It hasn't mattered if he was on the inside lane or the outside lane. That truck fires off really good no matter what he does, and I feel like we've been seeing that here for multiple weeks in a row consistently, and we've also seen the 98 of Ty Majeski struggle on the restarts for whatever reason just a little bit.
7, 8, 10 laps before it really appears that 98 truck comes to life. But maybe he's going to put all that behind him and just go get him.
Look at Caden Honeycutt in the 52 truck, holding strong there in 3rd. Grant Enfinger next to him. Pace car is off. Here we go again. Restart under the lights in Richmond Raceway. Ty Majeski, look at that fire off speed on the outside. Is it enough? They fan out all around. Look at Caden Honeycutt to the inside. He wants to take the lead. I want to truck around Andres Perez.
Wow, still 3 wide off turn 2. Look at that battle.
Look at Corey Heim on the outside to the lead once again. We've seen this story tonight.
Well, and the 3 wide move by Caden Honeycutt just enough to allow Corey Heim to roll the outside there and be able to carry that momentum all the way into turn 3 as we see still side by side for 2nd place right now.
Nice.
Andres Perez got it rolling, guys. We're going to stay green.
Nice run there off turn 2 for Majeski as Christian Eckes now tries to become a part of this battle. We've had such great racing.
Tyler Ingram in the 18 battling his teammate Christian Eckes. That Eckes truck, that Shiggy Hattori throwback. Thinking of Shiggy's family, we lost him earlier this season in an auto accident. Bill McAnally doing a little throwback in remembrance of him.
And as you look at Tyler Ankrum right now running in the 5th position, based on how his practice went earlier today, the team has done a very good job to rebound. He's going to make the move right now to the inside of his teammate Christian Eckes to try and get that 4th spot, but a lot of struggles in practice with brakes, the handling and everything, and what a turnaround for those guys.
Well, you know, he's been really solid all season long on the short tracks, just a really good, intense competitor, and now that the adjustments have been made and we're getting late in this race, he's thinking victory. He's running really strong.
Ben Rhodes right behind this battle right here for the 4th position, and Ben has lost a spot since the restart, and really needs to get going right now as we take a look at the restart on the right side of this, or the bottom of the screen there.
That's just a great launch from Corey Heim. You saw Caden Honeycutt with a nice start too, and gets to the bottom. Now here comes Ty Majeski.
It's about the 3rd time we've seen this tonight. He reels them in. It takes just a handful of laps, and he makes his way around. So Ty Majeski back to the lead.
Chandler Smith going around Ben Rhodes for the 6th position here and going to complete that, but Ben's going to try to cross him back over.
And watch this yellow truck. Wow. Nice move around the top of the racetrack for Lane Riggs as he's going to take a spot away from Ben Rhodes.
Lane Riggs, a 2-time winner on the season. That's his teammate just ahead of him to the left. Chandler Smith, a 2-time winner on short tracks this season. I feel like they've made that truck a little bit better.
And I continue to be impressed. And Michael, you know, a lot of times we go to Richmond, we don't see that top lane work on fresh tires quite as good as it is tonight. But I'm impressed with the moves guys are able to make on that top lane and find a way early on in runs to utilize it when they can and when the opportunity presents itself.
Man, this 34's truck is strong. He's faster than Chandler. Chandler moved up in 1 and 2 and took that lane away from Lane last time. Goes back to the bottom here. It's just a matter of time before Lane picks up that spot.
So 92 laps to go here from Richmond. It is the regular season finale as Ty Majeski continues to lead over Corey Heim and Caden Honeycutt.
Jake Garcia hasn't had a very good start to this final stage. He fell back, but now he seems to be rallying. He's currently running back in 13th.
About the farthest back we've seen him tonight.
Yeah, and certainly wants to maybe try and get some of these spots back. Not quite sure how he got that far back in the pack, but definitely not what he wants. I know he's got some points to play with, and the team told him that, and he knows the scenario. But let's not flirt with it too much if we don't have to.
Yeah, that cushion is nice. Let's maintain that. He's got a few of the lap trucks between he and the next position he'll pick up, as you see Tyler Hankrum now coming under pressure of Lane Riggs.
Ty Majeski's led 105 laps and counting here at Richmond. Can he hang on and win for the first time this season? 82 laps to go from Richmond. Ty Majeski continues to lead 3 seconds over Corey Heim. All right, guys, 82 to go. Regan, Michael, you guys were talking about strategy. What do you do at this point if you have that extra set of tires sitting?
So, first of all, I think what Ty Majeski's going to try to do is just put him in his dust, and he won't worry about coming to pit road. But there is a chance, and some of these guys might split this thing in half, Regan.
Yeah, and that's the other strategy, that is option that's out there. If you take this stage, split it in half, and let's say roughly with 50 laps to go would be the optimum time to do that. You come to pit road, and maybe somebody like Corey Heim, who has 2 sets of tires sitting still in his truck, as we see Jake Garcia continuing to try and battle his way back forward. That's a battle right there for the 13th position with Corey LaJoie. But if you're Corey Heim, you got to start thinking about, okay, the quickest way to get to the end of this race would be to put tires on with about 50 laps to go. It times out better. And could I maybe leapfrog Ty Majeski by doing that? There's big risk in that, though, because you'll put yourself a lap down while you come to pit road and take those tires, and it'll take a little bit of time to unlap yourself. If you get a caution, Michael, now all of a sudden you got a whole nother set of problems. But we know Ty Majeski only has 1 set left. They need to save those for a late race caution with maybe 10, 20 to go.
And then this cat, all he cares about is wins. He wants to have another
100%.
win. It does Corey Heim. So if he takes a chance and it backfires, no big loss. And so there's differing strategies for our guys up front. Makes it fun.
I can only imagine what the crew chiefs are all thinking right now, because it's got my head smoking right now and gears spinning trying to figure it all out and understand what the best play would be for each different scenario, because every single truck has a different scenario.
What's Ty Majeski thinking?
Second, don't need this much. Curve the stuff. I'll try it. I'm just kidding. I'll let him know again. Don't I want to get a gap then if we want to go long? Well, you want to have something to fight with him at the end. That's all I'm trying to say. You don't know what you guys want me to do. I figured I was just going to build a gap for a green flag stop, right?
Break that down for us.
Build a gap is what Ty Majeski, it looked like what he was doing, and his team told him to bring it back a little bit.
Bring it back, save a little bit. So not sure. And you heard him say, I thought I was building a gap for a green flag stop. You build that gap, and yes, if you're planning to make that green flag stop, that's the best option. I still get nervous, though. What happens if you get a late race yellow and you don't have the tires and Corey Heim or somebody else does?
He certainly built a gap, 3.2 seconds over Corey Heim. Caden Honeycutt in the 52 truck. So impressed with what he's been able to do, making the move over to this team this week. Dive into all the tools at his disposal, talking to Stuart Friesen, talking to driving coaches, just trying to put it all together. And what he's been able to do, guys, is so impressive. We knew this kid. Every time he gets in the truck, Michael, you talk about how he finishes in the top 10 when he's not even full-time. First full-time season this year. And wow, he's just going forward and doing a great job.
Well, he's just so good at his racecraft. It doesn't matter if he's 3 wide or if it's a short track where he needs to charge a corner, or a place like this where you really got to finesse the racetrack. You just see Caden getting the job done everywhere we go, Josh. He's just so talented.
Yeah, and you talk about the challenge for the 52 of Caden Honeycutt in 3 different trucks the last 3 races. But he said when he hopped in the truck today, there wasn't much different despite it being going from Chevy to Toyota. He said the only thing really different was getting in Stuart Friesen's seat. He also said Stuart has been very involved in helping him out, like you guys mentioned. Talked to him before practice, after practice, before qualifying. So much feedback coming from Stuart, and it's been really helpful for Caden Honeycutt as he makes the transition.
That has to be really interesting here. Stuart Friesen has been one of his biggest competitors on the track week in and week out. Now all of a sudden you're driving for him and he's giving you driving advice.
Well, and that's great for a young driver in terms of Caden Honeycutt. And I know he's had a lot of help at Nice Motorsports as well. Guys like Ross Chastain helping to coach him along. But to know that you've got someone else out there that you can talk to and you can lean on, and that's been driving that truck, that knows how that truck is going to respond, that knows how that team is going to respond when maybe you say something on the radio. All very important things for Caden. And we talked to him at the start of the race, right? This race was important for them to be able to understand each other moving forward in the playoffs.
Lane Riggs having another one of his top 5 nights. Short track, kind of what we've come to expect from this young man.
And it just seems like every time we show Lane Riggs tonight, he's finding a way to move forward and finding a way to battle forward. He's passing trucks consistently every time we've got the camera on him, and you know, not a dominant performance like we saw out of him at Indianapolis Raceway Park a few weeks ago, but Lane has consistently been showing that speed every week, and one of, you know, the 2 or 3 trucks, Michael, that I think we keep looking at and saying, okay, they're very close to championship form right now, and everywhere we go, and being able to get up there and maybe try, and I know Corey Heim is still the favorite, but trying to get up there and make sure they are heavy in that conversation.
I think I almost got to put him in the same conversation with Corey Heim just because of the way he's performed in the late summer months. And you can see him here trying to make a move for that 3rd position under Caden Honeycutt. The last couple of laps, he's been the fastest truck on the track. So he always shows really good long-run speed, and I think we're seeing that here.
How much do you think having Chandler Smith adding a teammate has helped this team? Usually there's a little growing pains, but these 2 teammates seem to have hit it off from the get-go.
For Front Row Motorsports to add a second truck as late as they did in the year, and both trucks perform at really a high level all season long, and you know, getting wins, multiple wins for both trucks. Chandler Smith's multiple wins coming early on in the season, fantastic.
Chandler Smith, his teammate, running 6th right now, but it's all about Ty Majeski. He has been the dominant one. Will it be his night? And we're back at Richmond Raceway, 61 laps to go. We're hearing some chatter, guys. They're going to do exactly what you were talking about. They want to split this stage. Who does it, though, and who takes that gamble and stays out?
And that's where things are going to get really interesting here, Jamie. And it's strictly because who feels confident it's going to go green to the end, even if they've only got 1 set of tires left, and who's going to try and hold a set of those tires. Matt Crafton, he's on pit road right now, and that's going to start a wave of him. Grant Enfinger has already been on pit road.
Crafton's in a must-win situation, so he's got to mix it up, figure out how to get some track position, maybe get into position to win this thing.
Josh?
And like you mentioned, must win for Matt Crafton. Came over the radio before this stop, said, I have no brake pedal. Not what you want to hear, especially at a place like Richmond.
you know, we do the math on fall off, and now that the sun has gone down, Regan, I'm just not seeing that much fall off. 25 flat last time by for Heim was the fastest truck. The fastest I've seen is about a 23.80. So that's just over a second. It's a bit of a stretch to me to pit from way back and have it work, but
well, and these teams, they'll have a number that they're targeting. There's a delta that says it's this much quicker if you pit at this lap and try to split it and use fresh tires for 50 laps each time. And to your point, Michael, that delta does change as the pace isn't falling off quite as much. That delta might have been built on 2.5 seconds of fall off, so that does change, and that's where it gets very, very complicated. Now, they're running real-time data to figure that delta and that number out, and clearly some of these teams are saying, hey, we need to go ahead and pit, as we see Corey Heim making that choice right now.
Corey Heim, one of those that has an extra set waiting. Josh?
And yeah, for Corey Heim, they've been trying to get that balance right all night. Well, it feels like they hit it during that last stop. Came over the radio, said this is the best the truck has been all night. Let's see, and he's got 2 sets of tires waiting, like you said. See how things play out for this 11 truck.
Majeski continues to put laps on the track, as you see on the left of our screen. Lane Riggs is in, Todd.
Yeah, Michael, Lane started the race off too tight. When the second run was too loose, Dylan Capello made the adjustments, got it right on. Lane really likes it. Just a tiny bit tight now, but exactly what you're saying. These guys, once one guy comes in, they all got to come in and follow.
Chandler Smith is on pit road right now as well.
Tom Majeski keeps putting laps on the track. This is interesting. Caden Honeycutt. There you see Tyler Ankrum coming in. How long will the 98 of Majeski push it out?
71 of Raja Karuth had come down. He was busted speeding.
It's ill-timed mistake. This is the money stop, and you can't have something bite you on that.
And that's one of the risks that you run when you make a green flag pit stop. A problem really compounds itself if you're not careful, and then more time to make up, as we see Raja Karuth serving a penalty on pit road for too fast entering on the 71.
How frustrating is it if you're Tom Majeski out there, fastest truck all night long, and you're just having to let people swing on by as he continues to put laps on those older tires?
Well, and it only gets worse, right? Because you get put in positions that you don't want. We see Ben Rhodes on pit road. That'll be Ben's last set of tires. So we know how the scenarios have to play out for him for the rest of the race. Jake Garcia, you know, depending on how it works out, really in a good spot as Ben comes and takes those last tires. And Jake, right after Ben does, here he comes to take his last set of tires. So doing exactly what they thought they would, just mirror what the 99 truck does from here on out.
Keep him in your sights, and he's done a nice job of that all night long.
Todd?
Yeah, the 13 Jake Garcia, exactly what you're saying. Jared Rogers.
Matt Crafton goes around. Ty Majeski is around. Caution is out. Damage to the most dominant truck of the night. Ty Majeski led 143 laps around. He goes with his teammate.
I don't think there's enough damage to that truck to keep him from.
Now you see him just trying to get that truck turned around, having trouble with the banking there, and
Spencer Boyd involved.
Wow.
What an interesting scenario we have now.
Crafton was on fresh tires. You can see not a lot of damage to the 98.
Got shot by the 88, I don't know.
It just looked like Matt Crafton was on the bottom there, and those fresh tires, and we were starting to say it before some of those pit stops, the tough challenge right there for Ty Majeski is these guys are coming by so much faster. It's a challenge for him, but it's also a challenge for them to not make a mistake and maybe overdrive it, trying to get their lap back or whatever it may be, and we'll have to see exactly what happened to cause Matt to get up into him. But man, now we're going to get really interesting.
Matt Crafton quite a bit of damage on the back of his race truck. He's on pit road. Here's what happened.
Got a smoker up ahead. You think Matt saw that? Oh.
He just lost the nose for some reason as he got in. That was a really awkward spot for him to shoot up the track like that. Don't know if maybe there was something to do with fresh tires that maybe caused that. I know Craftsman was just in.
You can see a truck coming to pit road. Know how that had affected anything. That was weird looking.
And that was quite a ways into the corner for Matt to have that happen. And we know they're teammates, right? Matt does not want that to be the scenario. And
let's see what we can see here. Clearly way faster than Majeski. Then you see the smoking tires, but he just lose the back there and then overcorrected it.
Wow, what a shock for Ty Majeski. Just minding his business out there, doing the best he can. Oof. Gosh, what a great night for Matt Crafton, you guys. We talked about him running in the top 10 all night long.
Look at the damage to that Menards Ford.
And something to keep our eyes on here. Of the trucks that pitted, Corey Heim and Lane Riggs were able to unlap themselves. So they're on the lead lap. They will not have to take the wave around.
And they only have just a handful of laps on those tires.
And the top 4 stayed out. Sammy Smith, Ty Majeski's off, and Gio Ruggiero was one that had stayed out as well. So this will all cycle around. Corey LaJoie was one of those that had stayed out as well.
Well,
we know for a fact that Ty Majeski, after that spin, he's going to have to find his way to pit road and get tires on his truck. That's a guarantee right now. And after this all shakes out and resettles itself, then we've got to take a look at, okay, who's actually got tires left at this point, and what takes place now for the remainder of the race, because essentially the tires are going to be very similar once guys take the wave around. It's just a matter of when this field gets reset, where they all stack up at, and how they can play the remainder of the race.
I'm just trying to get my brain around this, but it might not be that big of a setback for Ty Majeski, because he is now going to get to make his pit stop under the caution flag, get the fresh tires, have the best tires of the leaders. This doesn't seem to be all that big of a deal to me for Majeski. Am I missing something, Regan?
No, not at this point. I agree with you on that, Michael. And I think the only way that it becomes a problem is, again, if there's a caution with 10 laps to go and he can't get tires.
Cleanup continues for the latest caution for our leader, Ty Majeski, going around with his teammate, Matt Crafton. We'll be back. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It is the regular season finale, and we are under caution for the 5th time. And guys, there's a lot of oil on the track that we just got to see. We're looking back at replays, and we were told they're cleaning up oil. Maybe that's what happened here.
Oh, it's definitely what happened. Matt didn't know what went down either, and then we're getting reports now that there was oil on the track, and I think as we see that smoke there, you can see the shiny oil
right along the bottom of the track there, and especially, you know, where the left sides just were at on Matt Craft and Michael, you can see the oil.
You can see the oil right there
in the bottom there.
In the picture there.
Yeah, and the trucks in front of them, Corey LaJoie went high up the racetrack as well. He had a little bit more room to save it, right, and didn't have somebody that he was going to get into immediately, whereas Matt Crafton, when that truck took off, it took off quick. So we thought it was odd how quick the nose just went straight on him. It just didn't make any sense, and now we're making a little bit more sense of it. Not sure where the oil was coming from, but you can clearly see it was all the way around the corner. So somebody had really had a significant loss of oil somewhere around the racetrack.
I think it might have been rear end grease, shiny like it was. Getting a report that some of the folks down on the ground smell some rear end grease. You know how terrible that smells when they go bad.
Nothing worse in a vehicle than rear end grease, you know, coming through the vents and the systems that the drivers have in their helmets to try and give them a little fresh air.
Heck of a save by Ty Majeski, by the way. Kept that truck clean for the most part.
And very tough when you get spun at that spot of the corner and you're not really anticipating getting hit right there. A lot of times the truck can just snap right around on you and really back into the wall. So fortunate for him, we see the damage to the left side of it as he's, you know, shaking that truck around, but fortunate that it wasn't worse than what it was. We've got to answer to the question in terms of who's going to pit. We knew that this was going to happen.
Yes.
These are the trucks that hadn't pitted yet, including Ty Majeski. So opportunity to get tires with Todd.
Yeah, Regan, Ty, how often do you spin out and end up second in the running order, right? Ty, the first time tonight, did not like his truck. A little too tight in the center. This is a good opportunity to get those tires, obviously. And 34 lane rigs. Dylan Capello electing to put that last set of tires on and try to run with those guys. Josh?
For Sammy Smith, that truck has been pretty good all night, but he told the team, I need to fire off better if we have any shot of winning this race. That truck just too tight, so hoping the adjustment will help him the rest of the way.
All right, so there you have it for Ty Majeski. Final set of tires.
Yeah, and I think the only surprise that we saw on pit road right there was the 34 lane rig. So he took what was going to be his final set of tires, and you know, as we look at the laps remaining right now, we're down to 42 to go. We know that this cleanup's going to take just a little bit of time, and they wanted to get him right now.
We'll line him back up and drop the green flag again. Who will race their way into the playoffs? We'll find out. Tomorrow, it's Baseball Night in America as AL MVP frontrunner Aaron Judge leads the Yankees against Wilson Contreras and the Cardinals. Or the AL Central leading Tigers take on the Twins. Check your local listings for the game in your area. That's tomorrow, 7 Eastern, only on Fox. And we welcome you back to Richmond Raceway. The laps are counting down, 38 to go after they cross the line here. What a shakeup. Who has tires? Who doesn't have tires? Sammy Smith has an extra set. We do know that for a fact.
We saw them on the ground.
We did.
But we think that's the only truck in the mix that has another set. But everybody else is on pretty much level ground now.
Right, and what's happened is everything reset. Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, all of these guys that had already made their pit stops, they came back down and they did make their pit stops on this most recent yellow that we saw as we were going to break, or sorry, right before we went to break. So right now, as Michael just said, and as you said, Jamie, Sammy Smith should be, of the leaders and of the top 20, or of the top 19, the only truck right now that has a set of tires for later on in the race. Now, I think what's important about that, there's only 38 laps to go, and we saw earlier Ty Majeski on 20-lap old tires able to hold off the field on fresher tires. So how much that benefits him, that's to be seen right now in terms of how the cautions fly.
Race summary, 4 different leaders, 12 different lead changes, 15 trucks on the lead lap, 5 cautions. Ty Majeski has led the most laps tonight, 143, and he was leading when some oil was down on the track. His teammate got into him, spun him around, and that brought out this most recent caution, and there was a lengthy cleanup of oil. Looks like they've got that pretty much cleaned up and ready to go, boys. This should be fun.
And there you see a number of the trucks taking the wave around right there. With so many trucks getting trapped a lap down, then they were able to stay out right here, take the wave around, and
get back in the game.
Get back in the game, 100%.
Get behind the lead lap trucks here. Sammy Smith, Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, Corey LaJoie, Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia trying to race his way into the playoffs.
Sammy Smith's crew chief, Brian Patty, has a set of tires laying on pit road. He'd say, let's run about 20 laps and have another caution and see if we can have some fun. But man, Regan, you called it with the wave arounds. There's going to be a lot of trucks on the lead lap. It's going to be hard to make up through those trucks and get to the leader if that caution comes out too late.
A lot of positions he would have to gain, and I don't know that you'd be able to do it at this stage of the race. Something else we got to point out here also, Gio Ruggiero is up in the 3rd spot and essentially in a must-win. But with what that team has done, the strategy, the brakes falling their way, he is in position again right now. Now, does he have the speed to keep up with a Ty Majeski who's in front of him? We don't know yet. How much damage does Ty Majeski actually have? Did it hurt that truck at all?
Unbelievable, everything that just transpired with that 98 truck, and here he is restarting on the front row once again. We'll see if his truck is affected or not, but it has been lights out tonight. Can he take over the lead and get this win tonight? Sammy Smith on the outside, first time leading tonight. Look how close this is. Contact. Gio Ruggiero in the must-win. Gets into the bumper, the 98. Here comes the 77. That's Corey LaJoie.
I was going to say the best restart of the night for Majeski, and he gets whopped again. They're just running into him.
He is moving all over the track. Meanwhile, Sammy Smith to the point. Gio Ruggiero started in the back of this field. This rookie in second, trying to hold off his teammate Corey Heim on the outside.
And this battle it's incredibly intense right now. I'm holding my breath in here, trying to figure out who's going to separate themselves. Sammy Smith right now doing a very good job on the restart, and Ty Majeski a little surprised. Again, I'm going to go back to what I said a moment ago. Is there a little bit of damage on that truck as we see him and Corey LaJoie going back and forth down the front straightaway?
He just got run over a couple of times, Regan, and he couldn't figure out if his truck was messed up or if it was because people were lifting his tailgate off the ground. But he seems to be rallying now. We know how strong that truck is on the long run. I'm impressed with Gio. You said it. Started last. Now he is battling for second. Looks like he's going to lose that spot to Corey Heim has Majeski's. I don't think he's done yet, bud.
Just give me a couple laps. I'll get it straightened around and figured out here is what Ty's thinking.
Ty's thinking everybody quit running into me. Corey cannot clear Gio Ruggiero.
Look at Ty Majeski's truck now. It went from perfect to a little roughed up to a lot roughed up now.
Look at that yellow truck.
Here comes Lane Riggs.
I like this cat. He had a really strong truck in the long haul. Another adjustment to it. He's around LaJoy. Can he drive up there and pass Majeski? I don't think anybody's passed Majeski once he's run 8 or 10 laps.
Corey LaJoy, been in NASCAR a long time, mostly as a Cup Series driver, making his 7th start here in the Truck Series in that 77. Up here in the hunt was the lap down early in this race.
And done a nice job to get back on the lead lap and find himself in position to have a good run tonight. And much like last night, a good run with the modified form and trying to duplicate that tonight. These two that we're watching in this battle for second, though, they just can't get away from each other. Corey Heim and his teammate Gio Ruggiero just side by side, lap after lap. And you know Gio right now just wants to get that opportunity to go up there and try to chase down Sammy Smith.
Gio's like, come on, Corey, you've won 6 times this year. You're locked in. I'm trying to get myself into the playoffs. Meanwhile, that gap is closing, though, for Ty Majeski.
Yeah, Ty doesn't. I don't think he's got much patience for these guys now. He's going to drive up there, maybe give Gio a little bit of a tap, go to the inside and take away that position.
He gets it. Meanwhile, Sammy Smith up there, nice and quiet, doing what he needs to do. Just his 9th Truck Series start. Finished 6th a week ago. Here he is leading this one.
Majeski pulling away from Lane Riggs there. There's Jake Garcia.
Jake running in 7th right now, Michael, and back to what he's been doing all night long. Exactly what he has to do in terms of the point situation. The only thing right now that he is concerned about is Gio Ruggiero running up there has now fallen back to 5th place, but Gio Ruggiero is his primary concern. It's not Ben Rhodes at the moment. He's done what he needs to do there.
But good speed Garcia is showing here, being able to keep pace with, see the leaders just up ahead. This is intense. Can you imagine being Jake Garcia and seeing Gio Ruggiero get up there and battle for the lead? Where's Ben Rhodes?
Here's our bubble watch. Garcia and Rhodes, tit for tat all night long. We had Rhodes running up front, got those tires, put on his Superman cape. Then we saw Garcia get shuffled on a restart. He was outside the top 10. Now he's up to 7th. Ben Rhodes back in 10th.
The spotter and crew chiefs are telling Jake Garcia everything's cool right now. Just run me a smooth 24 laps and we're going to go playoff racing. Not so much for Ben Rhodes. I see Caden Honeycutt keeping pace. Had a solid night. There's Ben slipping up high.
And Ben right now doing everything that he can and just feeling like there's not much more he can do right now in terms of the situation, right? We know he's on the tires he's going to run for the remainder of this race and maybe just seeing it slip away just a little bit from him.
Be heartbreaking and frustrating, all those things all at the same time, the emotions.
Oh, by the way,
NASCAR.
Back up front, we've got a heck of a battle.
Yes, we do. Sammy Smith not going to be so easy. Corey Heim is back.
Corey Heim is back, and he's got the guy that's tracked him down all night long to take the lead, heating up his rear bumper as well. And there you see Lane Riggs is able to keep pace.
Sammy keeps that truck to the bottom as Corey goes to the top, and
the leader just crossed the finish line. That means we've reached our Craftsman 20 to go great battle up front. Corey Heim has led 55 laps tonight. He retakes the lead. The track that he said has just not been an easy one for him to figure out. Done some things differently in his prep for here. Different setup this time around. Will it be good enough to take home his first win at Richmond? We'll find out. 19 to go from Richmond. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway, the final race of the regular season. 13 laps to go. Corey Heim with a 1-second lead over Ty Majeski, who has been the best truck. Does he have time to close that gap and take over where he started and where he was all night long?
As we look at the most recent lap completed, it was about a 10th and a half that Ty Majeski had gained. So doing the math there, if he can keep doing that, this is going to get really interesting.
And another 10th and a half there on that lap. You can see the margin that he's leading just over a second.
For you NHRA fans coming up right after us from Brainerd, it's qualifying right here on FS1.
That's 0 to 300 in about a second. That's fun to watch.
That'll wake you up.
See if Majeski starting to hang that thing out a little bit. Lost some ground there that lap, just a half a tenth. This is just going to teeter right there around a second.
And you know Ty right now driving it for everything that it is worth, right? He's doing everything he can. He can see Corey Heim up there in front of him. He knows that he's been better the majority of the night than Corey Heim, and now he's asking for as much as he can out of this truck, as much as he has all night long.
10 to go. What a night in Richmond. We talked about it all day, Regan, how much fun this was going to be, how much strategy was going to play a part of it, and now it's just the two best trucks all night long. Ty Majeski trying to run down Corey Heim. This could be, if Corey Heim pulls this off, one of his best victories of the year, because he struggled at this racetrack, and he said it earlier today, thought he had made some changes that would help him, and here he is driving with the lead with under 10 laps to go.
Well, Michael, Josh has been telling us all night, not happy with the feel of that truck. Numb front end, but on this last stop, he said it was the best that he had felt tonight. So kudos to that team. Scott Zipadelli, pit crew getting it done, giving him the truck that he needs to be in this position right now and capitalize. And will it be enough? Another one of those stories, Jake Garcia doing exactly what he needs to do, running 7th right now. He stays here, finishes the job in 8 laps. He he will advance to the playoffs.
And all Jake is thinking is, let's keep this clean, let's keep it green, no more restarts, no more opportunity to get into a bad position, and he's perfectly content riding right where he's at for the next 8 laps.
And he's okay with giving up this spot to Chandler Smith as well.
Go ahead and take it, Chandler. You can have it. I don't want it that bad right now.
Just don't rough me up. There's his adversary, but Ben's hadn't been able to overcome the deficit he came in here with.
Ben could pass Jake Garcia and pick up another few spots. It just wouldn't be enough. Too little, too late.
Ben's such a great young racer. Probably going to be pretty happy for his teammate, though. Gave it all he had, but Jake was just better tonight.
He may wait until Monday to be happy for his teammate. He's still going to be frustrated tonight. I can assure you that. But Ben, the right attitude all weekend long, right? Said that I'm racing like I normally would race, no pressure. And again, Ben's a champion. He's been in the high pressure moments. He knows how to handle it.
No quitting Ben Rhodes as he goes around Chandler Smith there.
Two-time champion Ben Rhodes.
As we see Corey Heim back up here to the front, he's actually been stretching that lead out now up to 1.5 seconds, and appeared that Ty was maybe going to reel him in just for a moment there a little bit, and Corey Heim was able to flip the switch and turn it back around the other way. Just an impressive run here at the end of this race for Corey Heim. I think you might be right, Regan. You see some damage to the rear of that 98 truck of Ty Majeski. Probably just enough to where they're so tight. Competition is so level here. It's enough for Corey Heim to take advantage of. Yeah, you got some left rear damage, a little bit of right rear damage. You can see the fender was hanging out just a little bit. The rear damage from when he backed into that pit wall after the spin, and again, like you said, Michael, these trucks are so perfect that every little bit matters on them, and I got to imagine, based on what we saw early on, that maybe it's affecting it some.
Corey Heim, this one's going to mean a lot. It's those ones you struggle at.
Yeah.
Ones you keep coming back to, and you know it's been a thorn in your side. I mean, this team Tricon, they have not won a short track race this year. They admit this is just something they have not gotten their arms around, and they've tried to change their way of thinking and their setup. Corey Heim, white flag in the air, final lap. He just keeps rewriting the record books, you guys.
It's been fun to watch, hasn't it? It's been a great season.
It certainly has. 6 wins already.
Whoa. Hello, Doctor.
Starapoli
Doctor,
said, oh no.
Straighten her up, please.
Here he comes, Corey Heim. 18th career win, and he gets it done at Richmond Raceway. So much time and effort put into this. You can see the relief on Scott Zipadelli's face. How about an exclamation point for being the champions of the regular season?
I got to wonder if that relief on Scott's face was because of the backstretch on the last lap, perhaps, of what was going on, or because of the win. But either way, great job.
Obviously got a break there with the 98 reckon, but take him however we can get him.
Youngest driver to reach 18 Truck Series wins. Previous record that was held by Kyle Busch. 23 years old. Pretty incredible what we're watching.
We wondered after tonight who would carry the most momentum into the playoffs. We know who's carried it all year long, but could anybody step up and maybe put a seed of doubt anywhere there? And Corey Heim, as he's done so many times this year already, another burnout.
Those playoff points he's carrying with him. That momentum, the swagger. He's got it all right now. He'll be a Sunday racer before we know it. He's racing tomorrow night for 2311. He's been in a truck or a car all day long today. What a nice way to finish it out.
Impressive.
What time is it? Prime time. Corey led 75 laps tonight. Well-earned victory by that whole team, giving him the adjustments that he needed. Jake Garcia, guys. He did it.
Just a perfect night for Jake Garcia, doing everything he needed to do, and congratulations to him and that team to make their way to the playoffs.
Raced his way into the championship. We'll have 10 drivers now locked in, 7 races to go. Wants to hand it to a kid. Josh is with Heim Time.
Well, Corey, you talked earlier about your struggles here at Richmond. I heard you come over the radio, said you didn't think you'd ever win here, but you put in the work, the team worked on the setup, and you did the homework to get better. What does this win say about your performance this season and at places you hadn't been good at in the past?
Yeah, I really didn't feel like me personally, I wasn't that good. I was very inconsistent, but obviously the 98 was the best truck, and I'm sure he, got damaged there and it slowed him down. But we've had some get away on us like that this year, and this is one that kind of redeems that a little bit. So very thankful for John Connor Garage, Toyota, Safe Flight. Once again, don't think we were phenomenal today by any means, but we were definitely good enough to be there when it counted, and we were. So huge thank you to all those guys, Blake and Trevor for my development, 2311 for all the Cup help this week, and gonna go try to get a good run in the Cup car tomorrow. Can't wait.
Corey Heim, 7th win on the season, gets it done finally at Richmond.
That's what it's all about. Look at that young man celebrating with the checkered flag.
Hold on tight to that, though.
What a cool memory for that little kid.
What a cool race. We had a little bit of everything, as we thought we might. A lot of really great racing. 3 wide. I think we said 4 wide a couple times, didn't we?
Definitely. There was definitely 4 wide involved numerous times.
Yeah, that a lot. Well, let's hear from the man who raced his way in for that 10th and final spot, Todd.
Yeah, here with Jake. Did a great job, Jake. The first half of the race, you did exactly what you need to do. You put yourself in position, you got the points, did what you needed to do, get that gap. Allowed you to take that second half and coast and make sure you kept it. Great job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just did my best to run a smart race the second half. And even the first half, there were some moments where we were 4 wide, and that's not going to work out at Richmond. So there were some points when I had to bail out and lost a bunch of spots, one of those restarts, just being really conservative. But, our truck was really fast, and I think we could have finished top 5, certainly. So I want to thank all my guys. They did a good job. They worked really, really hard on this truck, and like they do all the trucks, and gave me a really fast piece today. I want to thank God for the opportunity to come out here, and I want to thank my partners, Ford and Quanta Services as well. It's not the circumstance we want to get in the playoffs with what's going on with Stuart Friesen, but hope he gets well soon, and hopefully we can run good in the playoffs.
Well, this is your second trip into the playoffs. What did you learn last year that you can better yourself in this run this year?
Yeah, I think there's just some things that you got to just be consistent. I've been in point situations before, where it's battling for championships at late model levels and stuff, and it's just about being consistent, and we're going to try to do that through the first round, especially through the second round with how chaotic some of those tracks can get. And then, once you get to Phoenix, then it's game on.
Jake Garcia races away into the playoffs.
Job well done by that 20-year-old man from Monroe, Georgia. Nice of him to mention Stuart Friesen there, too. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with it as we move forward to the playoffs. We'll be back to Richmond to wrap things up and set the tone for what's to come starting at Darlington in 2 weeks.